left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs altimeters 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes, please.
Remember, correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type PC12 slam call, request clearance to Vegas S found.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S-File, I'll be full route standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport via Flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Check flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Plus 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3, initially climb 7,000 expected for 0F25, departure 167, focus 316 plus 465.
Plus 4658, readback is correct. Tango D Mike, taxi to the ground via Echo and English frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic. Left downwind, runway 26, left, report base.
Enter left downwind for 26 left and record your base, 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242, on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base shortly.
United 242 John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170.3.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Papa Tower, King at 208 Kilo, ILS 54.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 1.
Clear to land,
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ramp plus 4658 east ramp with weather going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 900 clear low approach, report miss.
November 2903 Alpha, PLEDGE, low approach, runway 9, next report is with
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go 3 and right at Bravo.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 3 and right plus 465.
Palomar Tower, King at 520 Kilo, 4.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, roger, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Via Alpha,
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking base.
Number 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
November 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed.
November 2903 Alpha going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying the published mid-approach procedure, November 2903
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency will be 135.4.
135.4 for departure, November 2903 Alpha.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound ILS 26 left.
Number 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower. Good afternoon, Ontario. Wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction, 516 Delta Mike, clear to be active at uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, roger, taxi on the south ramp via Sierra. Remain on this frequency.
Via Sierra on this frequency, 6 Delta Mike.
Riverside Tower, good evening, November 2903 Alpha
2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, runway 27, clear to land.
Clear to land on runway 2703 Alpha. Riverside Route, November 2903 Alpha. In Alpha, request taxi to the transient parking.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside ground. In the future, don't switch to the ground frequency unless you're told to do so. You should stay with tower, exiting the runway all the way to the hold short point. Stay on this frequency for now, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Taxi to ramp via Alpha. Rocket. Number 2903 Alpha.
Runway clear. Runway clearance. November 6th. Charlie Mike Cherokee. I would like to attempt the I-4 rating today.
Cherokee 76 Charlie Mike Jolly clearance. Good evening. Good luck on the I-4 destination. Will be, let's go, Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo.
That's Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo. 6 Charlie Mike.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
I'm going to sign off and collect some information for this destination. I'll sign back in. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Just report when you're back with the I-4. And how long do you think it'll be? It's not going to be more than an hour, is it?
No. I have to file and get some charts and plates.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll still be here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we'll look for your flight plan to come through. And we should learn stuff.
Las Vegas Tower Plus 465 usual 1 hour right 4500.
Plus 4658 Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, clear to land, wind 1807.
Clear to land 1 hour right 465.
Plus 658 exit right, taxi into the ramp via hotel, remain on this frequency today.
Exit right, right via hotel, ramp frequency 465.
Reach ground number 953 Whiskey Alpha's Piper Comanche PH4/Whiskey Alpha. Like taxi the active VFR east departure with the weather.
Calling Long Beach ground, need you just verify your call sign, please.
Sorry about that. 916 Whiskey Alpha, November 916 Whiskey Alpha.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach ground, roger. And just confirm VFR eastbound.
Eastbound and the east ramp just south of runway 25.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, roger. Runway 26 right, taxi via Kilo.
Okay, 25 right via Kilo, 916 Whiskey Alpha. Long Beach Tower, November 916 Whiskey Alpha, holding short of 25 right, Kilo, ready for departure via parking east.
Number 916 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Tower, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, right downwind departure, approved.
Clear for takeoff 25 right, right downwind departure 6 Whiskey Alpha.
Good day, Palm Springs, ground scanning double hotel Tango, East Ramp, India, close traffic, runway 31 right.
Papa Hotel Tango, do you mind? Palm Springs ground, say again aircraft type.
Ray Cessna scan.
Skyline Tango, do you mind? Thank you, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Echo and Bravo, 31 right, double hotel Tango.
We're center 791 Juliet, towards ground left, clear.
Okay, Skype 791 Juliet. We see there's no clearance delivery with this field, so would we get our departure instructions with tower or with ground?
Always go with the lowest, so we'll start with ground. Just say your intentions.
Okay, Skype 791 Juliet. Type Cessna 172 on the south hangars with the numbers requesting VFR advisories to
Number 791 Juliet, roger. Departure frequency 134.9er, squawk 2061.
1249, that's 2061. Squawk 791 Juliet.
Got 901 Juliet, read back is correct. Are you ready to taxi now?
In a couple of minutes, just go direct inside. It's Sky 791 Juliet, south hangars, 956.
Sky 791 Juliet, roger. Runway 29 right. Taxi via hotel. Correction, taxi via Alpha in Juliet.
29 right, taxi via Alpha and Juliet, Sky 791 Juliet. Palm Springs, Tower, scanning Papa Hotel Tango, Mike is holding short runway 31 right, Bravo, and ready for departure, close traffic. Hello guys, happy Saturday. So just some casual crosswind pattern practice today. I've mentioned that in the previous stream as well. It's always good practice, but especially with crosswind component because it is a bit challenging to nail those touchdowns with a little bit of a crosswind there. And also not just about the touchdown, but also in terms of crabbing during in the pattern and also using crosswind correction during taxi. These are just good reminder kind of flights or exercises that I should do every now and then just to keep in shape. So that's what we're going to do today. I think an hour of flight or so here at French Valley this time at sunrise. It looks really, really gorgeous. Also replaced my sky textures with those of a plugin, or not a plugin, just replaced with new sky color textures or pictures, images through the .org website, and these sky colors, especially with sunrise and with sunset, look just absolutely amazing. So that's what you're seeing right now. Hey Pat, good to see you here on the stream. So that's what we're going to do today. Some very casual, spontaneous flying, because there cannot be no flying at a Saturday in my at my book. So, we are currently in French Valley. Let me show you for those who are not aware where French Valley is. Here we are. We're not flying with real world weather today because I like to have that crosswind component. So I've set my own weather here. I set a 12 knot wind coming directly from the east with gusts up to 4 knots. Also, gusting winds is even adds a little bit more of a challenge because you cannot then crab with a constant kind of heading shift almost, because the power of the wind changes. So you need to make constant adjustments while you are on final or also on in the pattern, and that's also something that I think is something that I can practice. Hey Evan, good to see you. So that's what we're going to do. We only need the CTAF here, 122.8 as you can see. 1350 is the airport elevation, so we can expect 23 or 2400 feet as a traffic pattern. Alrighty then. Also, we got a wonderful updated French Valley airport. Don't know if I already streamed that one. I think it's by Greg, and it's looking really, really amazing. So because it's sunrise, we're going to see much more details of the airport soon. But I really like this twilight zone kind of time frame here. I hope you do as well. All right, let's jump into the cockpit. So here we are. Let's fasten our seatbelts. Also, as part of my crosswind kind of exercise, I should also more often drill and practice the fact that I should inspect the windsock before I fly. Also in the real world, wind strength and wind direction change according to altitude, right? Especially when there are nearby objects, for example, a forest or some buildings that can block the wind. It's good to know what the actual wind is, the strength and the direction is on the runway, or at least on some part of the runway. So I would like to incorporate that as well, or include that as well as part of my flow when before taxi. Also, when I would arrive at a non-towered airport and I'm in the pattern, or especially when I'm overflying the field, to make a teardrop kind of entry, to not only inspect the quality of the runway, but also to inspect the windsock to see what the winds are doing. So let's do that first. Let me see. Or in explain? Yep. I think there should be a... there you can see. A windsock. As you can see, fairly strong winds, right? So 3 knots with each kind of column here. So this is 3, 6, 9-ish kind of a wind. And it's coming from that direction. So clearly a crosswind in relation to the runway 18 and 36, as you can see. So so that corresponds. So that must be the east then. Yes, and that is the east. So winds are coming directly from the east. So we got a direct crosswind component here. So that's going to be interesting. What's also interesting is that I know that in previous versions with the REP at least, I don't know if it's also for the stock, Cessna 172, that a 15 direct crosswind component might perhaps be a little bit too much for the Skyhawk to handle, also during taxi or during the takeoff roll. So we have to see. Perhaps I need to turn down those winds, and this would not be a good way or a safe day to fly, actually, or preset here of whether to fly, because perhaps it's also mentioned in the POH of the Cessna 172, the pilot handbook, that it's not recommended to fly with such a direct crosswind component. So you could still fly with your Skyhawk with a 20 knot headwind, for example, or slightly headwind, as long as the direct crosswind component does not exceed that 50 knot vector, you could say, or power. But I don't know for sure. So we'll have to see, but it's going to be interesting. And well, again, it's very easy to look at the windsock. Also, we're going to listen at the ATIS just to confirm, but it's good practice, I think. Evanek, I'll join you on Discord and explain in about 50 minutes. Nice, Evanek. You are welcome. Yeah, and so just to, if you'd like to fly with the same settings, 12 knot wind coming from 09 with 4 knots of gusts. Okay, let's get going then. Door is closed. Cold and dark check. Spark and brakes are set. Let's pretend that we've got the fire extinguisher in between the seats and it's in the green, and our life vests are here, which we don't need because we're flying on land. But anyways, door is closed. ELT is set to auto. Flap lever is up and our flaps are actually up. My levers are working. Fuel tank set to both. Cutoff is in, alternate is in. Circuit breakers are nicely tucked in. My switch panel is working as well, and avionics is turned off. Beacon light is on. Wonderful. Yoke to the right. That one goes down. Then that one should be up. Yes, that one goes down, and then that one should be up. Roger that. Up, down, and up. As you can see, my Skyhawk is actually reacting. You can see it's actually moving based on my elevator. Yeah, you can see slightly the airplane is moving. You can also see at the indicated airspeed here that we actually don't get a reading of 0, right? It's actually a little bit increased. Well, why is that? Well, obviously that's the wind coming from the east blowing into the pitot, but also over the airframe. So actually we do have already a little bit of airflow there, and that's why you can see that the airplane is reacting. It's the same with a power check. When you do your run-up, a lot of airflow from the propeller is washing over the wings, and that's also why when you do a control surfaces check, at that stage you also notice that the airplane is reacting to that, which is cool. Yeah, that was the control check. Batteries on, we got enough fuel. That's very, very clear. We could turn on our nav lights for now. Remember to turn those off. It's not really that necessary though. I know the primary concern with being a little bit more conservative with your lights is that in the real world, but I think I don't know if it's even still counts, but in the old days at least, a lot of those lights were actually quite expensive. And they run out at some particular point. So if you don't need your lights, don't turn them on, because you keep your money in your wallet, I guess, for a little bit longer time. I think now there are also landing lights and taxi lights and are very strong LED lights, which can go for thousands and thousands of hours, so that would not be that much of a concern. But anyways, nav lights are on. We don't need anything else for now. Good. Avionics on. Those are running. Displays are working. Flaps down. Again, we're not going to do the walk around, so I just like to see whether they go down and go up in sync, and that seems to be okay. Also like that comment of Evanek in the previous stream, that you should actually check this in increments, because now we do know that the flaps go down, fully down, and in sync, right? But we don't know whether our 10 degrees of flaps actually correspond with a observed 10 degrees of a flap down. So actually I should just go 10 degrees down and then see if it stops and if it looks like 10 degrees, right? So I know that each preset here, each set of my flaps actually corresponds with the degrees that you would expect. We're not going to set this, but I know that the displays are working and my transponder is off and 1200. That's what I forgot last time. That's important. Don't forget the transponder, Tim. Okay, ATIS and stuff.
Could you tell uniform radar contact?
We're going to listen to that very, very soon. Annunciator messages look good. No vacuum oil pressure, that's quite obvious. We can, if we like, already set the... yeah, let's go to the south. A heading indicator. In this case, we got a pretty, well, strong crosswind component, direct crosswind component, so it doesn't really matter what runway we're going to choose. In that case, you're going to listen to the radio to see what others are doing. And usually the winds are coming from the south or southwest in California, California's case. So usually runway 18 is being used. We also saw that another aircraft was already flying 18. It might be an AI traffic. So let's pick 18, which is over on that side. Alrighty then. Well, then we need to prime the engine. Avionics should be off before we start our engine because we might damage those. It is simulated with the REP, the Reality Expansion Pack by Simcoders, which is really, really cool. Alright, so a little bit of a throttle in. Fuel pump on. Mixture in. Let's see this fuel flow. 2, 3, and cut off. Pump off. Again, park and brakes are set. Fuel tanks are set to both. Doors closed when seat belts are fastened. Is there anyone walking around? No. So clear up. Get your full in. Back to both. And nicely at 1200. Oil pressure is already in the green and quite high actually, as you can see. Still in the green, but it is high. So let's have a look at that again. Rep is actually simulating all of that stuff. So if it's running out of the green, I'm going to shut down the engine and go to the hangar to see what's going on. So that's a first concern that I'm noticing. Let's lean for ground. I like to see a peak in my RPM there. And then a dip. So then enriching the mixture a bit because I like to be at that peak. Then reset to 1000. Very nice. Then the avionics on. We know that those are actually already working. Mode C, why not? 1200 VFR. And let's press some buttons here so we can go through these screens. We don't need the GPS, obviously, with some basic traffic pattern flight, but hey, Stefan, good to see you. Have a nice flight. Thank you, sir. Just some casual Saturday flying. Self-test, and we can turn on another page here. Doesn't really matter. There we are. Frequencies are here. That's good. And we can set those. Oh, we got a volt reading. Okay, well that might be the case because I didn't turn on my generators. I totally forgot about that, my alternator. And there it goes. Yeah, so that was something that I forgot about with my engine checks. Alright, anything structural that I can improve on? No, I just totally forgot. The only thing I could say is just use the checklist, Tim, or at least use the checklist at the end of your flow, so you can check on things that you're forgetting. And well, I've not been running the alternator on for just a minute or so, so our battery will be recharging based on that 1000 RPM setting, but still, again, that's why you need to keep flying. We're going to set some frequencies. The only frequency that we need is the frequency of the CDEV of French Valley. Well, and also the AWASP we can listen to. 122.8. 122.8. And that is set. And I also like to listen to the AWASP, which is going to confirm the weather that I preset. But anyway, let's just keep that flow going. COM 2. Right, which is 119er. 0.02. Switch. Okay, let's have a listen. COM 2.
Morietta, French Valley Information Alpha. 1200 Zulu weather. Wind 090 at 11. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 12. Dew point -10. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runway 36. Departing runway 36. Advise on initial contact. You have Alpha.
Alright, we've got Alpha. And well, the weather corresponds with what I preset, obviously. So clear skies, and we've got winds from 090 and 11 currently. And I know the wind is also gusty, which I think we should be able to see based on the wind bar, because it's, or the wind sock, because it's dynamic. But I don't know what the interval is of the gusts, but well, you can see it's kind of all over the place. Yeah, there was a little bit of a gust there, which is really nice. I like this feature also over a Prepared or FSX, where the windsock is actually not that dynamic, and I think it's actually an important part of your checks. It's really fun to see. Okay, those were we set. Let's set COM 1 on the CTEF. That's good as well. Nav airport elevation, that would be 1350, right? So that kind of corresponds. So our altimeter is working. Everything is stable, still got an indicated airspeed, but that's the wind most likely. So as soon as we're going to turn to the left here, we should see a 0 reading on the indicated airspeed, because the pitot heat is then not pointed into the wind anymore, right? If it still does, then we know that the airspeed indicator is not working. Vacuum is low, but that's because we got a low RPM. So with the run up before we when we're at the beginning of the runway, we should see that in the green. Engine is still running a little bit cold, which is as to be expected, because the engine has just been running for a minute or so, or a couple of minutes. So we should actually wait until the until it indicates 75 degrees Fahrenheit or above before we can taxi, and we can only do the run up when we are in the green here, because otherwise the oil is not warm enough to lubricate the engine or the cylinders and all the mechanical stuff and the metal in the engine. And we might damage the engine, which is not going to not cool it, and well, all kinds of other qualities that are associated with oiling the engine. Anything else? Temperature, no. Clock, we don't need this time around. EGT is nicely high up. No, that's about it. So we're going to taxi, and again, crosswind correction, that's the theme of today. Type, are you our pilot, sir? No, I have an access. He's an uncertified pilot. Exactly. No, I'm not a real-world pilot. Perhaps in the future, but I'm using Flight Sim to get as close to a real-world instrument rating as I possibly can, which includes also becoming a private pilot, you could say, a VFR-rated pilot, and that's actually a program or a curriculum that is provided by PilotEdge, which is a really nice online multiplayer network where people can fly online together in the sim, but also in airspaces that are governed by actual air traffic controllers, and they provide check rides that you can do based on how well you are chatting with them as controllers, as a pilot, which is really, really interesting. And I completed that program. As you can see, Cat 11 at the right top corner of my screen, which means that I've completed all those Cat ratings. Those are associated with VFR flying, 11 check rides, which I'm really, really proud of. So that's one stage of my training that I've already completed. Next up is my I ratings, which are associated with IFR training. This is how well I can chat and manage to survive in airspace while being IFR. As real as it gets. This is not just a simplified way of doing things. That's what I'm working on right now. If you're interested in what I'm doing with my project here, visit UncertifiedPilot.com. You can read all about the project and my progress. A320, Simon is now following. Nice, Simon. Welcome aboard. Well, Evanek will join in 15 minutes, I guess in 10. So he will join the pattern soon. Okay, what I'm also going to do, or try to do, is I love music. Also love to fly with music, which I usually do off stream if I have some time just to do some patterns on my own when it's late or I'm too tired to stream. And I thought, why am I not doing that in stream? Because I just like to fly with music. So I've been tinkering with setting up my yoke and buttons to be able to control the music, control very basic ambient music that I like hearing when I'm flying, especially during casual flights. So let's see if that works. Yes, I hear some music, and I can change the volume. Lovely. Alright, so that means that we are ready to go. We are on the CTAF, runway 18. That's going to be left or right? As you can see, RP, that's 36. Right pattern, 36. We are flying 18, so the default is always left-handed. So we are flying 18, so that means... my air server is not updating. Well, we don't need it that much with the traffic pattern, but we're flying from the north up to the south. Obviously, this is a north-oriented chart, so we're gonna fly then on the map, looking at the map, to the right side of the field, or the left side of the field in this case. We're making right turns in the sim. Okay. You set my buttons here. There are so many controls here, but if it works, it works. Parking brakes released. Brake test immediately, so we know we can stop in case we are taxiing too fast. So those are working. Excellent. Crosswind correction. So winds are now coming right at us. Come on, Tim, go a little bit faster here. So we're going to make that turn right now. And what we're going to do, what we like to prevent, is wind coming under the right wing right now. So the indicated airspeed should decrease. You can see it does. So our indicated airspeed is actually working. Our airspeed indicator is working. So I now put my yoke totally to the right, completely to the right. So we keep our right wing a little bit more down to the ground, so the wind does not go under the right wing and we tumble over, which actually happens, especially with strong winds. Very nice. Here we go. Lovely day here at French Valley. It's such a wonderful non-towered airfield. Well, my heading indicator, or my turn indicator and slip indicator was working as well. Heading indicator is working, also corresponds with my magnetic compass, which is good. Engine is already running warm. Oil temperature is already in the green, so we can do our run-up. Wonderful. You can see a run-up area over here. Sure no one is on the left side. All right. And into the wind. Why? Because we're now going to do a run-up where we are going to go at a high RPM and our engine is air-cooled. So we need all the air we can get to get our engine as cool as possible, because on the ground it might overheat. Engine is already warm enough, at least in terms of oil temperature. Let's go to 1800. No messages on the annunciator panel. Everything's still stable. Oil pressure is also a little bit dropping there into the green. That's good to see. Left mag, it is sparked once more. I believe it's because as soon as you run idle with the wrap, the current wrap version, that really triggers that spark plug or spark fouling behavior. So I should be a little bit more strict with keeping my throttle at a 1000 RPM. Okay, so that means let's go to 2000 RPM and let's lean until the engine gets rough. There it is. We'll keep it there for about 20 seconds. We heat up the temperature in the cylinder so it burns off the lead. Something like this. Make sure full in. Back to 1800. Let's do a mag check again to see if I can still hear the spark plug. Wow. Nope. At least not on the left. Also not on the right. Wonderful. Again, still everything is stable. Let's go quickly to idle. See if the engine doesn't quit on us. Nice. Alright, at 1000. Wonderful. So that means that we are ready. We can still keep our, well, it's already daylight. Nav lights off, landing lights on, strobe lights on, trim is set, fuel tank set to both. Okay, CTAF is set as well. I don't see anyone in the pattern. We're going to fly left patterns, crosswind correction. So that's going to be quite interesting, and I will show you while I'm flying. And I don't know how much we need to correct for wind. But the important thing is, for a traffic pattern, it's not about the heading, it's about the ground track. So we like to fly a rectangular, perfect rectangular track relative to the runway. And so if there's a wind component, we are drifting off that ground track. So our heading could still be aligned with the runway, but we're just pushed, almost like a sailboat on the sea with a current, right? You're being pushed away. So we need to crab a little bit to stay on that rectangular ground track. And that's the exercise of today. Okay, let's go. French Valley traffic, good day everyone. Skyhawk, Papa Hotel Tango Indy Mike is departing runway 18 for left close traffic. French Valley. Again, make sure no one is on final. There could be Nordo traffic that is not announcing anything on the radio. For example,
hello Tim.
Good day, sir. Alright, runway 18. Corresponds. Again, left yoke here. Correcting here for winds. They're now coming from the left, so we like to keep our left wing a little bit low. So that should mean a lot of right rudder. Full right rudder here, which is hard here with that wind. Also gusty. Now relieving my yoke correction because we're going fast enough. And and nose up, and immediately we're going to crab into the wind to the left, because we're now being pushed to the right, as you can see over the nose, because the wind is coming from the left to the right. That's the current, you could say. So let's see how much we need
French
to
Valley traffic, November 733, Echo Juliet, taxi to runway 18, French Valley.
Nice! We got someone else as well. It's going to join in the fly. That's wonderful. Okay. So let's go up. You can see we got a little bit of a turbulent wind there, gusty wind. Alright. 500 feet AGL. 300 feet more to go, so that's 2200 in our case. Or actually 2100. And we're going to start our left turn here to crosswind. Make sure no one is flying on that leg, even though we don't hear anyone. French Valley traffic, yellow Simcoders turning left crosswind. Runway 18 for touch and goes. Keep that climb going. Wonderful day here at French Valley. Look at those light effects. Okay, so we're now flying east. That's wonderful. Still need to climb a little bit to get to traffic pattern altitude 2400. You can imagine as soon as we're going to make that turn to downwind soon, so another 90-degree turn to the left, we're going to be pushed to the left because winds are now coming from our right side and we need to correct for that. French Valley traffic, yellow Skyhawk turning left downwind, 18 touch and goes, French Valley. So there we go. So I'm going to shortcut my turn here because the heading bug is not already at the bottom, as you can see. So something like this, because the wind is now pushing us from the right to the left, and I'd like to get that strict rectangular ground track going. So we're 100 feet too high. Nice sunrise here. Go too fast, 90 is perfect. And there's French Valley. Almost midfield. Let's see if we can see the other traffic there to the runway. Yes, we can. Holding short, doing a power check perhaps. Oh, I'm now flying a straight downwind heading, but that's not...
French Valley traffic, November 733, Echo Juliet, taking off runway 18, French Valley.
Nice. So that's good correction there, or good traffic separation, I should say. Set one notch of flaps and set up for landing. Could also already start my descent here. I should practice to do that already when I'm midfield downwind, because usually I'm too high when I'm from base to final, which is just a personal flaw or something that I need to improve on. Okay, ready to descend here. Nice on speed. That's good. Still a little bit crap to the right, but perhaps it's not enough. So I'm being pushed towards the airfield. Airplane is now on the upwind, already rotated. Alright, let's make that turn. French Valley traffic, yellow Simcoders turning base 18, close traffic. French Valley. There we go. So now the winds are on our tail, so we don't need to crab. We're just being...
French Valley traffic, November 733, Echo Juliet on upper wing runway 18, French Valley.
So we're now going faster relatively. We're now being pushed by the current forwards. Another notch of flaps. Let's not overshoot the runway, and now we need to overturn because now we're going to be pushed to the right. French Valley traffic, yellow Skyhawk is now turning to final 18, touch and goes, French Valley. You can see already been pushed to the right a little bit too much, a little bit too high. So my nose is now a little bit pointed to the left of the runway. And this is not a position to land for, because if we now land, we might skid off to the left of the runway. As soon as we got traction on the runway, we're not pointing aligned. We're not aligned with the runway. So before we touch down, I need to point the nose into the same direction of the runway, obviously, because otherwise we skid on the runway. That's quite difficult. So you can see.
French Valley traffic, November 733, Echo Juliet turning left crosswind runway 18, French Valley.
So here we go, we're crabbed, and right rudder, and left aileron. Well, not too bad with such a strong, lot of right rudder here. Full power. First stabilize, Also, I relieved my yoke of crosswind correction, which is not good. So I should increase my aileron correction also when I'm on the runway, obviously. So that's something I'd like to improve on. French Valley traffic, yellow sky is now on the upwind 18, touch and goes. French Valley. Interesting. Very extreme winds here, but it's good practice. So again, need to be a little bit more on the left side here of my heading bug because we're gonna still be pushed to the right.
French Valley traffic, November 7, Echo Juliet, turning left, downwind runway 18, touch and go, French Valley.
Alright, so he's now on left downwind. That's alright, I'm a little bit gaining on him, so it seems. Again, preparing for my crosswind turn. Do I see anyone here on the base, or on the crosswind I mean? Doesn't seem like it, good. There comes 2100, 300 feet below traffic pattern altitude. The turn. French Valley traffic, yellow sky goes turning left, crosswind, runway 18, touch and goes. French Valley. Keep that climb in, and also keep it on VY, Tim. Now there's no crosswind component, just flying right into the wind. You can see that other traffic inside, which is now on downwind, so we're close. I'm gonna extend my crosswind here, and also mention as part of my announcements that I see the other traffic. So the other pilot knows that I see him, which is always good. So he extended his crosswind quite a bit. French Valley traffic, yellow skyhawk is now turning left downwind, runway 18, number 2 traffic in sight. Try. 200 feet too high. Turning, but now keeping my nose a little bit to the right side. Wonderful. Still need to be able to spot that airplane. I can see it far in the distance. And that's also why, as part of traffic pattern flying, it's very important. Okay, we're coming up to midfield. I have to start my descent. To also notice what type of aircraft is flying with you in the traffic pattern. Because if there's a Beach Baron, in comparison to a Skyhawk, might fly that traffic pattern much quicker than you, so you can anticipate more on your turns and together shape up a better or safer.
French Valley traffic, November 7, Echo Juliet, turning left base, runway 18, French Valley, touch and go.
Nice. How cool is this, guys? Just flying on multiplayer with people is so gratifying. And Evanek will join hopefully as well soon.
And I just joined.
Ah, nice, Evanek. So beautiful weather. Well, I preset my own weather, but it's looking amazing. It's really wonderful.
I think I'm going to do some crosswind practice as well. You have your wind set from 50 knots from the east, right?
090 at 12 with gusts up to 4 knots.
Ah, okay. I'll do the same.
Roger. Okay, so that other traffic has now turned. Yeah, I can see him to base.
French Valley traffic, November 7, Echo Juliet, turning short final 18 for touch and go, French Valley.
Easy. A bit low on the airspeed. Like to be at least 80 here. So this is interesting. So we're flying with the two of us here in the traffic pattern, but you can see we're quite close. French Valley traffic, yellow skyhawk is extending the left downwind for runway 18 to create some room for the traffic there on short final. French Valley traffic. So now I'm actually kind of like behaving like a controller, trying to create a better traffic pattern flow for everyone in the traffic pattern. Because we cannot step on the brakes and just stand still in the traffic pattern to create some room here. So this is one strategy you can use to get a distance going. from you in comparison to the other aircraft. French Valley traffic, yellow sky is turning left base, 18, touch and goes, French Valley. Okay, wind on the tail. 20 degrees of flaps, where's the runway? There it is. We're a little bit low. There's that speed. Again, I should have turned a little bit more sooner because we're now being pushed to the right. Forgot about that. French Valley traffic, yellow sky is on final, 18, long final, French Valley.
French Valley traffic, November 733, Echo Juliet on upwind runway 18. We remain in traffic pattern for 18. Nice. French Valley.
Nice, nice, nice. Alright. So I started my descent at downwind midfield, that's good. I'm crabbing correctly, except for the base to final turn, when I should start my descent a little bit earlier and overturn, because I need to get in that crab position.
500.
And as it goes for the touchdown, as soon as I'm on the runway, I need to increase my yoke correction for the winds, because I'm going slower and slower and slower. And also I should keep in my rudders. That's actually something that is the most important thing, or the most difficult thing, challenging thing as part of nailing those crosswind landings. This is what I heard from other CFIs, other flight instructors.
French Valley traffic, November 733, Echo Juliet turning left crosswind, runway 18 for touch and go.
It's
French Valley.
Very tempting. As soon as you touch down, you just let go of the yoke and of the rudder pedals, you just go neutral. And then the tumbling down, tumbling over can happen. So again, we're crabbed. Right rudder, left aileron, nose up, a little bit more aileron.
French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Victor Alpha taxiing to runway 29 and close left traffic.
That's much more stable. Oh, keep my nose wheel on the ground. And there we go, much better. Crabbing again into the wind. Thanks for the follow, Arab. Thank you, welcome on board. If you can see Evanek here, no. Already crabbing into the wind, just flying a southern heading, which is not good. VY is okay-ish. There we go, engine is still looking good. Nice. Where's that other traffic?
French Valley traffic, November 733, Echo Juliet turning left at downwind runway 18.
Roger.
Touch and go, French Valley.
Okay. Still keep the crab position. Coming up to 2100s, and that's our crosswind turning point. French Valley traffic, yellow Skyhawk is turning left crosswind, runway 18 for touch and goes, French Valley. Better on speed than last time. Nice, look at this weather, guys. This sunrise is so beautiful, wow. It's down. Airspeed to increase just a tiny bit more. Where is that downwind traffic? Can't see the traffic. Ah, I do see the traffic. Wow, that's a far extended upwind, I think. That's interesting. So we can see traffic is here over the nose. As you can see, because the other pilot is not flying as tight a traffic pattern, it messes up the sequencing of the other pilots. So we need to adapt, right? Which is actually a very good exercise, but that's why it's good to stick to proper traffic pattern legs or distances of those legs. French Valley traffic, Yellow Sky is turning left downwind 18. Number 2 traffic in sight. Charlie. Okay. Evanek would be already at the runway, I expect.
Okay. I'm just looking for that traffic ahead of you.
Yeah, he's, I think, well, just beam the numbers 18, I think. Oh, I think if you're ready to go, you can.
Alright, I'll take off. French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Victor Alpha taking off runway 18, left close traffic, French Valley.
There is Evanek. Nice, so now it's going to get busy in the traffic pair and it's going to get even more interesting. Hey, but Evanek, Dead Stick Simulator?
Yeah, I have only seen a few
French Valley traffic
of,
November 7, Tree Echo Juliet turning left to base, runway 18.
It looks really interesting.
Oh man.
French Valley.
It looked really, really awesome. So guys, today was the flight sim, well, a flight sim convention at Crosswind in the UK. And there is a team of developers, small team, which has just announced a new simulator. It's a bush pilot specific simulator, but it's made or based on modern day technology, software technology. It looks gorgeous and it has all kinds of features that I would love to see and explain as well. So on the Discord we were chatting like, my gosh, Dead Stick Simulator, it's awesome. So have a look at YouTube or at their website. I think it's looking really amazing. So again, I'm going to extend my downwind here to create some room. Keep crab, Tim. You're not crab right now. As you can see, I'm just flying north. French Valley traffic, Yellow Sky is extending the left downwind to create some room for the landing traffic. French Valley.
French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha turning left crosswind, runway 18, Tachenko, French Valley.
French Valley traffic November 7, Tree Echo Juliet turning final runway 18, French Valley.
I can see him on my wingtip. So you could say that traffic pattern flying in a way, especially with multiple, or particularly with multiple people in the traffic pattern,
500.
is actually kind of like a dialogue on the radio. You're not really commanding one another.
French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha turning left downwind, runway 18, French Valley.
Not really commanding others to do what you like to do, but just by taking control of your own plane, you can create a safer traffic pattern flow for everyone.
Crowded airport today.
It's a really crowded airport today, but we're loving it here. Keep going.
Sure, enjoy.
Nice. That's PilotEdge, guys. That is PilotEdge. So you can see, because I extended my downwind, obviously, relative to the runway, I'm not quite low, at least visually. But if I just stick on the same altitude and just keep flying towards final, let's make that turn a little bit too soon, because we're going to push to the right anyway. French Valley traffic, Yellow Skyhawk is now turning final 18, touch and goes, French Valley. This is much better. Now I'm overturning, because we need to be crabbed into the wind once more. Yeah, this is how I'd like to see it. A little bit more of a crab there. Nice. With the Dead Stick simulator, Evanek, I also really like the hangar. You really need to rewatch that.
French Valley, November 7, Tree Echo Juliet on upwind, runway 18, French Valley.
Yeah, I was trying to watch some parts of the stream back while he was still streaming. I don't think I could find that portion of the stream you were talking about, but I'll look it up later.
Man.
It looks really interesting.
Oh man, I think you're gonna love it. It's so cool. It also, like, it is not a sterile kind of hangar that they made, but they really made a quite personal, well, bush pilot-like cabin almost, where the cub is stored with a desk and a piece of paper and some cargo and stuff that you can actually interact with to load up your airplane. It looked really cool.
Sounds really awesome. I really like that
too.
Kind of a personalization idea of your plane.
Yeah,
it's your
me too.
plane, not just a plane you load in and fly
Exactly, exactly. And I also like, just aside from customization, it's also creating a sense of virtual presence, that you're actually a pilot in a virtual world where you can step out of the plane and do other things than flying.
Yeah, so much more immersive than just sitting in your plane and being stuck there.
Exactly.
French Valley traffic, November 733, Echo Juliet, turning left crosswind, runway 18, French Valley.
French Valley traffic, Sky Alpha Victor Alpha, left base, runway 18, touch and go, French Valley.
Keep that rudder in. More left yoke. You can see.
French Valley traffic, Sky Alpha Victor Alpha, turning final, runway 18, touch and go, have the traffic on the runway inside.
Nice. And French Valley traffic, Yellow Sky is now on the upwind. 18 for touching goes. French Valley. VY. Nice, those crosswind landings are fine. My first one was a little bit rough, but where's that other traffic?
French Valley traffic, November 733, Echo Juliet, turning left base runway, left downwind, sorry. Runway 18 for touch and go, French Valley.
Okay. Let's see if we can spot it. Not in sight yet. Oh, we're already past our crosswind turning point here. French Valley traffic, Yellow Sky goes turning left crosswinds. 18, touch and goes, French Valley. Push down the yoke. There's east. Alright. 90. Good. Where's that traffic? Oh yeah, I can see him in front of it. Again, it's extending his down in its upwinds quite significantly. So let's extend our crosswind as well. Do the same thing as we did in the previous runs. And Avanek has just landed, I think. How did it go?
Trying to maintain vertical control, but it's going okay.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a wonderful scenery here, my gosh. Okay. Behind the traffic, let's make the turn. French Valley traffic, Yellow Skyhawk is turning left downwind, 18 for touch and goes. We have the traffic inside, number 2. French Valley. Again, shortcutting that turn. Be crabbed to the east to keep that ground track going. Nice. Traffic is so cool. Yes, Stefan, I totally agree. Midfield. So let's start that descent gradually.
French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha, turning left crosswind, runway 18, touch and go, French Valley.
French Valley traffic, November 733, Echo Juliet, turning left base runway 18, touch and go, French Valley.
I'm not gonna descend.
French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha, turning left downwind, runway 18, touch and go, French Valley.
Not gonna descend too soon because I know we're gonna fly extended downwinds all the time here. Man, I'm being pushed. Oh yeah. Again, I'm flying northerly heading here. A little bit to the right, Tim. Because otherwise, if I don't crab on the downwind, a little bit to the east side, I will be pushed towards the airport and I unintentionally shorten my base turn. And chances are I would overturn from base to final. I need to correct quite significantly to get my ass back center line.
French Valley traffic, November 733, Echo Juliet turning short final, runway 18 for touch and go, French Valley.
Yeah, there he is on my left wing. Nice. Okay. Again, not crabbed. Engine is looking good so far. French Valley traffic, Yellow Scarg is now turning left base, runway 18, touch and goes, French Valley. And west. Mr. Runway, traffic there on short final. I should have announced that as part of my announcement there, that I was number 2 and had the traffic inside, which I totally forgot. Again, should start my turn a little bit early. And also 20 degrees of flap stem. French Valley traffic, Yellow Skyhawk is now turning long final, runway 18 for touch and goes. We have the traffic on the runway, short final inside. French Valley. A little bit overshot. What a wonderful virtual day here to fly. And I really like those sky colors, Evanek, by the way.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're nice. But the ultimate
French Valley
mod,
traffic, November 733, Echo Juliet on upwind departure, and we will continue to the south span for VFR flight. French Valley.
Alright, he's gonna depart. The ultimate mod, just for the viewers. So, Miniwebs and Evanek.
French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Victor Alpha, left base, runway 18, have the traffic on final inside. French Valley.
Suggested to me a plugin for more fancy looking, better looking cloud depictions in X-Plane. And actually the screen dumps look really, really good. It was called the Ultimate Mod version 2?
Yeah, the Ultimate Mod.
Yeah. And it looked really, really nice.
French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Victor Alpha turning final, runway 18, traffic inside, and touch and go, French Valley.
But unfortunately, at least on my end here, the plugin resulted into unexpected total IMC conditions while I was far away from clouds, and that's something that I just cannot fly with, especially as a VFR pilot, and still prefer the default weather actually of X-Plane. So a little bit of a bummer, but
yeah, I was kind of scared that might happen by the way that I could see that the clouds were set up. I haven't encountered that myself, but I'll do some more testing with clouds at some point, so we'll see what will be going on.
yeah, exactly. Oh, forgetting my aileron correction here. Gradually relieving that correction. Rotates, nose up, grab to the left. French Valley traffic, Yellow Scarg is on the upwind, 18 for touch and goes, French Valley. The other traffic has departed the traffic bearing area. So that leaves the two of us. How much time do we have? What's the time? It is currently... Oh yeah, I need to wrap it up. This is going to be my last lap, Evanek.
Roger that.
So, are you going to fly your Cat 11 tomorrow? Have you already planned some time to get that one going? Or
Not planned yet. I might do it tomorrow or Monday. I'm not sure yet.
Roger. Alright, let's make this traffic pattern count. 2100. Crosswind turn. Keep that VY. French Valley traffic. Yellow Sky is turning left crosswind 18. Full stop this time. French Valley. towards Evanek on the upwind.
Yep, I have you in sight.
French ready traffic, yellow cargo is now turning left downwind. Runway 18 full stop, French ready.
French ready traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha, turning left. Crosswind, runway 18, full stop, French Valley.
That's a nice refresher exercise today. It's nice to practice those crosswind flights.
Yeah, I've never actually just sat down and really practiced crosswinds, or at least in traffic pattern before, because usually you just pick a runway that suits the winds, and of course at some airfields you can't pick a runway that suits winds, but usually the winds are at least not directly on a crosswind, so this is a good exercise.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just discovered that I was broadcasting over.
I was just about to mention it.
Yeah, I'm using two push-to-talk buttons here, so it's a little bit confusing.
Oh, right. Well, you said
Sorry for
something.
anyone who listened to that.
It was meaningful chatter, though. Aviation related.
And French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha, turning left base with runway 18, French Valley.
Let's see if we can also do a short field here. Short final, I mean. French ready traffic, yellow sky is now turning left base from runway 18 full stop, French Valley, short final. That was a bit confusing to say actually at the end, because now people might think that I'm actually on short final, which is not the case. Okay, now we need to redescend. Let's see if we can do this. A little bit of an emergency kind of exercise. Be interesting.
500.
Let's go. White band still. French ready traffic, yellow cargo is now turning final 18 full stop, French Valley. Nice. So airspeed is still okay, 4 whites. That's fine. Let's go for the taxiway over there. Okay. On center line with the crosswind, you can do it. 15 knots. Top trim. Not too bad. Perhaps one trick could be to, before touchdown, also aileron correction, Tim.
French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha, turning left base, runway 18 full stop, French Valley.
Before touchdown, to align yourself a little bit left of the center line, because you're gonna shift towards the right side anyway when transitioning from a crab to a forward slip. Alright, here we are. Wonderful French Valley. It looks so pretty. My gosh. French Valley traffic, yellow sky is clear. Runway 18 is gonna taxi to park. Alright. Flaps are up.
French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha, turning final, runway 18, French Valley.
Right ailerons. Winds are now coming from the right side.
There's some traffic holding short of the runway. I hope that's not AI and he's going to cut in front of me in a moment.
He will.
Oh man.
You can zigzag perhaps a bit too.
Oh, there he goes.
Alright. Going too fast here. And thanks for the follow, Very Seeker. I heard your follow a while ago, but I was just concentrating on nailing that landing. Yo, correction. Removed. Nice to the left. Left aileron correction. Nice. Man, I enjoyed this flight. Just put her off. Alex off. Cut off. Wait until the prop stops. Gears off. Lights. Oh, I didn't turn off my landing and strobe lights after landing. Thanks for the follow, Sufran. Thank you. Happy Saturday. Batteries off. Park and brake set. Fuel tanks set to either side. Door is open. Poster KR. Seatbelts released. Where is that Avanek? Oh, he's there to the left. Nice. Wow. It's so beautiful, so gorgeous to fly around Twilight Zone here in...
I was looking for where you were parked, but you're on the other side.
Ah, that's what you were doing. I have you inside here with my camera. It's so gorgeous around, well, sunrise or sunset. It's absolutely amazing. Look at this. And there's the Papa Hotel, Tango India Mike. All right, just a few minutes to review the landings. I'm quite curious to see that because it was a heavy crosswind kind of exercise. Let's see how I did. I'll just give Avanek a chance here to park. Nice scene here. Ooh, well here you're really scratching your wings. You've really flown into another airplane there. Parked on the ramp.
Really? We should have the same scenery, right?
Yeah, I think so. Nice. And that concludes the flight of today. Wow, look at that, guys. Doesn't it look amazing, especially with the photo reel? Wow, non-towered airport. Amazing. Okay, so let's disconnect from PilotEdge. PilotEdge, there we are. Let's go to the flight recorder. And let's have a quick look. P. All right, interesting. Another control P. Alright, so as you can see with my upwinds, I'm already being pushed to the right, but I'm nicely crabbed, perhaps even over crabbed on this side, because I'm still going a little bit to the left here. Actually, quite extremely. Why is that the case? Yeah, I guess I just over, but I'm usually always going to the left. I think that's because there obviously is a right or a left flying tendency of the airplane anyways, because of the prop wash and all of those forces that come into play, and so I don't need to overcrab as much when we are in this case when we want to make that left turn. You can see this was not really a nice steady straight ground track thing. Let me have a look at the crosswind turn here. You can see some extended crosswind turns because of that other traffic. That was nice. Some correction here when I spotted the other traffic. But these were nice, and as you can see that was as expected, because now we're flying into the wind, so the crosswinds and the base legs, and for this particular flight with this particular wind vector are the easiest. Let's have a look at the downwind. Stefan, I'm midfield now. That's awesome. Oh, Stefan, it was you in the cockpit that was flying earlier with us in the traffic pattern. I didn't quite know. Was that you earlier in the traffic pattern with us here at French Valley? Did not make that connection.
No, I think it was. He said, I'm in the Echo Juliet. I think it was an Echo Juliet call sign.
Ah, nice. Well, Stefan, thank you for joining. Much appreciated.
It was awesome.
Well, so my downwinds were actually quite okay. That's nice. I can hear... I just landed. Let's have a look. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Okay, shift 9. And slow down. Check our pause. And let's have a look. Wow, look at that crab. I could have also chosen not to fly with 20 degrees. Perhaps with only 10. Might make that crosswind correction a little bit more easy. Here I'm correcting, so right rudder, as you can see, right rudder. But now at the same time I'm putting in the left aileron to still keep on centerline. And from that transition you can see I'm losing my centerline distance, or my centerline distance is increasing. So I'm now trying to correct for that, still a little bit crabbed. So I think it's better to stick on the left side of centerline when you're going to deal with such a crosswind component. This wheel should touch down first, there it goes, then that one, and then that one. Oh, barely. Good, and let's look at the ailerons. Am I making any corrections right now? No, I'm not. They're neutralized, which is not good. So this was a fair landing, I would say. Not a perfect one, but a fair one. Here I'm crabbed again. You see being pushed to the right. That's correct. Wow. Yeah, there I go. Interesting. So cool. Okay. Yeah, long final. No, it's too far. Let's have a look. There we go. Man, look at that. Wheel first, boom, boom, boom. Ah, that was a little bit too tight. Or tight. There was very little time between the right wheel hitting and the nose wheel. Should be a little bit more gentle. And still I was right of center line. It was not too bad, but it was still a little bit still crabbed, which is not good. Thanks for the follow, Fabian. Thank you. Welcome on the stream. Next one. You can see me reacting on the gusty winds. And well, still a bit skiddy. Come down. Right rudder, Tim. Right rudder. No, this was a bad landing. So now I'm skidding really on the runway, and now I got traction perhaps. I was a little bit too late there. I was turning on my wheels while I was still touched down. You can see I need to now, cowboy style, try to keep track of that center line, which is not good. That was my last landing, which was fair, I believe. Yeah, it was a little bit short. It was a little bit cowboy style. Yeah. Far off. So again, I should align myself a little bit toward the left side here. Yeah, it was better, but still not really aligned with the runway. It should just be a banked, straight out landing. That's what it should be like. Yeah. I would give myself a 7 out of 10 for these landings if I review them, which is okay. I mean, any safe landing is a good one, but I really like to be near perfect with these crosswind landings. These are really extreme crosswind landings, but nice. Very nice casual flight here on the Saturday. Much enjoyed it. Yeah, it is, Stefan. That's the slow motion. And again, also with the flight track visualization. It's such a great training aid to see what you've actually been doing with those flights. I mean, with my prepared, my training flights as part of the Uncertified Pilot project a year ago when I was flying prepared, I was not using the flight recorder at all, let alone those visualizations. And X-Plane really invited me, because it's a little bit more accessible and works much more smoother, was really inviting me more to review my flights in that way. There's crosswind correction here, you can see my ailerons. And I really learned a lot of that because of that. There we are. Nice. Oh, right. So guys, that completes our flights today. Just some basic VFR traffic pattern flying with a pretty significant crosswind component. I really enjoyed it. That was really, really interesting. Hey, 733, hola, good to see you here just at the end of the stream, but good to see you here on such a short notice. Yeah, it was a nice stream though. Practicing crosswind landings here with a 12 knot crosswind component, direct crosswind component, and some gusts up to 4 knots. So that was really interesting, and again, learn some new things. Also get a rhythm to how to make correct crabbing corrections while making each leg and the traffic pattern, which was really, really nice. And again, these are the VFR basic VFR fundamental exercise that I should do every so often to just keep those fundamentals in shape, because they apply to any stage of your flight. I think it's really, really relevant to do that. So I really enjoyed myself. Stefan, thank you also for joining. It was a pleasure to fly with you guys. Hoping I did not disturb your stream. Not at all, Stefan. No, you guys are so welcome to join in here. If you have a PilotEdge account, to jump in at the airfield and fly with me. No, and also Avanek, who is a trusty co-pilot here, and Aviator, who also jumps on the stream quite often, which is really, really nice. Avanek, thank you. I don't know if you're still on the Discord.
Sure.
Ah, nice.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for joining in. Anything else? Well, again, the next stage of my, or not really the next stage, but the next section of my training, my IFR training, will be about VOR, but also NDB radial flying. There are actually NDB departures and NDB arrivals, or approaches, I should say, also in the SoCal area. And even though those are gradually worked out of the system, NDBs are quite old radio beacons, I think it's really fun as an old school slant alpha kind of student pilot to still know a little bit how to do that. And so my next learning objective will be to learn how to fly a radial with an NDB, or with an ADF I should say. So that's going to be interesting, and I've planned a nice flight around the SoCal area using NDBs. So that might be really, really interesting. And then I'm gonna start with those instrument procedures and really chat with ADC to do my first departure and arrival procedures. I'm a little bit anxious, still need to study, a little bit more ground school hours to make before I really feel intellectually prepared to do that, but I'm really, really excited. I hope you are also excited to see whether I will succeed with doing that.
Looking forward to it. Sounds really, really interesting.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I was actually having a hard time just spotting NDBs or finding NDBs in the SoCal area. On the usual sectional, it was actually quite hard to see, but once I jumped over to the flight charts, I could suddenly see where they were. There is one on Whiteman, I believe, the Whiteman Airport. There's also one on El Monte, and there's also one east of Ontario, I believe. So I can do some en route flying with the NDBs, and I think that's interesting as well. Also, as part of those streams, I will practice with backcourse flying on a VOR, which is there are also arrival or approaches and also departures where you need to fly a backcourse of a VOR, and I'd like to know a little bit more about how to do that, so we can practice that as well. So again, getting closer to actually flying an instrument-rated flight or an IFR flight, so that's going to be really, really exciting. Guys, thank you so much again for jumping on the stream on such a short notice. It was just a spontaneous stream here, here in the evening, at least here in the Netherlands. Evanek, thank you again for jumping aboard, but also Stefan for joining. Really appreciated your presence here on this. It really makes traffic pattern flying so much more fun if we got others in the pattern as well. It's also much more educational and challenging, so thanks again.
No problem, thank you very much.
Alright, so I guess perhaps we're going to see Evanek fly the Cat 11 tomorrow or Monday. Perhaps, I don't know if I'm going to fly tomorrow as well. Anyways, guys, thank you again for joining here on the stream. And as always, happy flights, blue skies. See you very much.
Thanks, Dame. Have a nice evening.
Bye-bye, you too.
Palm Springs Tower, Skyline, Papa Hotel Tango, and your mic is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000. With information X-ray, and for a full stop, landing 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Link, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Link, Palm Springs altimeters 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, so requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes please.
Correction, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type PC12 slam call, request clearance to Vegas S file.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon, unable to give you S file, and I'll be full route standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7000, expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3, initially climb 7000, expected for 0 after 5, departure 167, spot 6316, plus 465.
Plus 4658, readback is correct. Tango to Mike, taxi to ramp via Echo, remain this frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind runway 26 left with port base.
Enter left downwind for 26 left and McCoy your base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242 on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base shortly.
United 242 Jolly Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170 and 13.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Otherwise, Tower Canada 20 Kilo, ILS 124.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 and 11. Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ground plus 4658 east ramp with the weather calling for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the islands.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report to miss.
November 2903 Alpha,